For 3 months. I spent 1 week in New Delhi and 1 week in Thailand. I'm still a little jet lagged. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to stay up for this whole fight tonight. You know, I might have to crash out here backstage for a little bit just so I'm well rested, man. Trust me, man. Jet lag is worse than 12 rounds of boxing. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says, man. It does something to your head, man. I mean, it makes you feel all foggy. It's not a pleasant feeling, man. But it is great to be back. Actually, my first night back, I got in at 11:30 at night. Before I finished grabbing my bags and putting them into the hotel room, I was outside of the hotel, and a young woman said to me, she goes, "Aren't you that boxer?" So I know New York got love for your boy one time. It's really great to be back in this city where they love boxing and they love what I do, and I get respect around town, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. I love the Barclays. I love New York. It got cold yesterday. It's not that cold today. A little bipolar, a little emotional right now, but it's good, man. I haven't even been back home yet. I haven't seen my family yet. So after I'm done with New York, I'll get back to see my family, and that's going to be a pleasant thing as well.
So you got married, and then you've been over there. You just getting back?
Yeah, man, because I got to do two things. Kill two birds with one stone. I got to make an appearance here for the fans, and for you guys, and just to be around boxing again. Plus, I got to see my doctor when I got into town. I got into town on Monday night. I saw my doctor Wednesday morning, and I'm going to do my last checkup with him Monday before I leave on Tuesday. So we're killing two birds with one stone. I've been doing some therapy every day except for today. I'll be working with my therapist tomorrow and Monday from HSS Hospital, and we just multitasking, man. But yeah, man, I'm here seeing y'all before I go see my mama, man. So
Hey, man,
I hope y'all appreciate that.
I saw you at the podcast yesterday from Brooklyn to the World with Paulie. I was at the table with y'all, man. I've always wanted to ask, have you guys ever spoke about the infamous "Don't duck me, son"?
Not duck me, son. That was.
Have you ever joked about it now since that time has come?
Do it to Wilder. We don't name Do it to Wilder right now. Do it to Wilder.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, the moment that manifested, right? Paulie Malignaggi was the WBA welterweight champion of the world. As soon as he lost the title to Adrian Broner, I had no intentions of gunning for him no more. I was, you know, like the fighters today, like many people calling me out right now, okay? I was calling out whoever was champion, right? That's what happens when you try to come up through the rankings. You want to fight the best. You want to fight the champs. He was a champ. Once when he wasn't the champ, there's nothing to talk about no more, you know? And no fight contracts ever got proposed, and he actually admitted yesterday, he said he wasn't really trying to take that. So if he did,
the devil.
Yeah, right there. Don't duck me, son.
if he would have stayed winning, then maybe there would have been an opportunity for him to legitimately duck me or not duck me. But like I said, man, you know, that's why I don't really like talking about what ifs in boxing, because all that matters is what is, what not what is not. You know what I mean?
I gotta ask, because he just walked by, but he's been kind of campaigning for a Conor McGregor fight. Like, he's retired in boxing, but you know, he wants that Conor McGregor fight hard, and they're going out it on Twitter. What do you think of that?
Yeah. If Conor McGregor comes back, it should be against Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I mean? You don't really need to be against any other form of boxer. You know, I said it in a different interview. You know, he brought Paulie in for camp, right? And he made Paulie do 12 rounds. I've never made my boys who come into camp do 12 rounds. They're not about to be in a 12-round fight. You know what I mean? I know Paulie's a 12-round championship boxer, and he dug in and he gave him that work. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Paulie did say, I was getting tired because he was out of shape. He wasn't in shape. He didn't have no fight to make. He wasn't getting a 7-figure payday in a few weeks, you know what I mean? So when I bring in sparring partners, my sparring partners aren't doing more than 4 rounds each. I do 4 rounds, and that's how we equal our 12 rounds. I don't want you to give me 1 round where you need a rest. You know, you give me 4 hard rounds and I rotate and we move on to the next one. Plus, one fighter cannot mimic your opponent properly, right? So maybe this guy does something, maybe he jabs in a similar way that this guy jabs. Maybe the other person has similar footwork. Maybe the other guy that I'm sparring throws the hooks in the right way or digs in the body the right way or has the right head movement. Each fighter has at least one quality that matches my opponent. So when I put them all together, now it's like a little bit closer to facing the man that I'm about to face on fight night.
I heard of one potential in the grapevine, maybe who somebody could be a next opponent for you. That's the former champion Jesse Vargas. Have you heard that name at all, or is that out of thin blue air?
Well, I haven't heard no names, so you can just keep pulling out as many grapes as you want at that grapevine. But yeah, those are stories.
Back to Paulie. I don't mean to ask you again, but kind of off what he was saying. After you saw Conor in the ring with Floyd, what do you think his chances would be against Paulie? At this point in Paulie's career.
Well, he actually does have a nice arm reach. He understands spacing well. He definitely needs to be more conditioned. That's his main downfall. Especially for 12-round boxing. Or if he fought Paulie, they can negotiate a 10-round boxing match. Maybe Conor's going to be too prideful, and Paulie too. They make it 12 and almost in the same aspect that they did with Floyd. But
is that easy work for Paulie?
Easy work, no, it's not easy work, but if he's in shape and McGregor doesn't learn anything from the boxing lesson he got, then it could possibly be easy work because by what round did the fight get stopped in?
10.
The 10th?
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister could have whooped his ass
No.
in the 10th round. I'm just saying, almost anybody can whoop his ass in the 10th round.
Serious question here. Did it bother you, Vo, that you didn't have that moment? You look at all the transcendent stars, whether it's Oscar, Floyd,
Yeah, I
Cotto.
know. Yeah.
They had that big superstar, and you've been clamoring for Floyd for years. Did it
Yeah.
bother you that a UFC guy who basically talked his way in, brought his Irish fans, got it, and you were basically left out in the cold?
No, because I know why it happened, Another thing, I was injured. I'm not even in the right shape to manifest that fight. So it just wasn't in the cards, man. I do remember when I was the #1 contender for the WBA world title, and then when he acquired the world title from Marcos Maidana, he did the rematch with Maidana. Then only a few months later, he got elevated to super champ and I got elevated to regular champ. And that's when I fully knew that there's no intentions at all for Floyd Mayweather to face Keith Thurman, because I was in the prime position as a mandatory for the media to talk to Floyd. What about that boy Keith Thurman? You're gonna fight that boy Keith Thurman. Once when he was elevated, even if you would have said I'm this, I'm that, he would say, but there's none. He don't need to do nothing. He didn't need to acknowledge me. That was a power play, a power move. We know that Floyd was in a power position for many years throughout his career, and he played it well. Some people get into places of power and they don't use it. They fight everybody and they fall off the ladder pretty quick. So what's the right thing to do? What's the wrong thing to do? And I also said before that there's two ways to become a legend. One way is by beating a legend. The other way is by creating your own legacy. And apparently that's what I have to do at this stage. And luckily we have great champions. We have a lot of great fighters in the welterweight division that I can compete up against. As long as I stay undefeated in time, my legacy will reveal itself.
We got the heavyweight champion up on the stage right now, Deontay Wilder. And there's another heavyweight champion over in the UK. I don't know if you've seen him before, Anthony Joshua against Klitschko.
Yeah, I saw.
Now, people are clamoring for these two to fight. Eventually, they got to see each other. If they do, and being a boxing fan, not only a great champion like you, but a boxing fan, maybe you can give us your analysis of the two.
Well, they're both young. They're both freaking monsters. They're big boys. You know what I mean? We ain't looking at those little heavyweights. You know what I mean? These are some big boys. It's one of those things where you kind of almost just want to say, man, whoever hits whoever first, well, that might be the winner. Joshua had a great fight against a very old Klitschko. Klitschko put on a tremendous performance for himself, for the fight fans. He did not lay down for the young dog. He made that dog work, and the young boy came up, dug down. He gritted it out, and he got that victory, man. It was a great fight for the fight fans, but Wilder is not 40 years old.
What's your
you
thought?
know? So I believe that it's definitely going to be a more challenging fight. I do believe Wilder has more devastating power. You know, I don't know who. You know, I can't say that we've seen Wilder get hit by anybody similar to Anthony Joshua as well. So that is a tremendous fight. It's a great time in boxing with all these young fighters that we can make these kind of fights happen, and that we have a heavyweight champion of the world again, an American heavyweight champion, something we haven't had for a long time. So obviously, I believe if that fight does manifest, there should be a lot of fight fans cheering on Deontay Wilder to bring that victory back home and bring another
You
belt.
talk about how Joshua had to dig deep, get off the canvas to beat Klitschko. Now remember in the Collazo fight, he caught you with that big body shot, and that was a hard shot. And
It's
you know,
clean. There's nothing I can do about
but the thing is, you came like a champion. You rose to the occasion. You
Yeah.
know, perhaps if you fight somebody like Errol Spence or the top welterweights or the top, pound for pound fighters in the world, they may touch you. You may get stunned. But do you think that's one of the biggest qualities of a great all-time fighter? Somebody that can take that big shot and then come back and then get his opponent.
You know, being knocked down. You know, a lot of people don't talk about this, but we do know that being knocked down is not the end of the fight. Being knocked out is, okay? So knockdowns and knockouts are completely different. And one thing that really makes boxing such a beautiful sport, and what truly separates it from the UFC and MMA combat sports, because they are combat sports, they are highly physical and demanding sports. But in boxing, when I knock you down, I have to step back and we give you 10 seconds to recover, right? In those 10 seconds of recovering, you being a world-class fighter, I might have got, it's like chess. I might jump in and take your queen, but you might be able to maneuver, take my queen, then get me out of position, and now I'm in checkmate. But at first, I thought I had you, So that's something that you don't really, you're not really gonna see in the UFC. Some of the greatest boxing matches of all time is when you knock the guy down, he gets up, he knocks you down, you get up, and you knock him back down, okay? So you're not going to get that in a UFC match. That's something that makes boxing very special. I've said it before also, that I meditate on going down, okay? I meditate on what I call the worst case scenario of the fight. I'm in the corner, I'm taking blows, I got to take a knee. I'm in the middle of the ring, I get rocked, boom, I'm stumbling on wobbly feet, you know what I mean? I have to dance around, I have to hold, or I have to go down and take the knee. Now, that's another thing. What fight was it? Was it Kid Chocolate? Kid Chocolate versus Danny.
A couple of them.
Danny Jacobs.
Okay, yeah, first
versus
round.
Danny Jacobs, first round TKO, right? So, real on high level boxing IQ, everybody knows he was supposed to go down on the knee. If he goes down on the knee, he can separate. He doesn't have to take that punishment. He can get a breather and readjust, run around, do whatever. Take that round. Take that L of that round.
Like Tim Bradley did against Provo in the 12th round, took that knee.
He went down several times, but he didn't lose the fight because he won the majority rounds. So there are moments where you're hurt. It's the ref's job to protect you, but it's ultimately your job. The number one rule in boxing is protect yourself at all times. And taking a knee is a strategy if one is hurt, to not accumulate more damage. So I'm always aware of that scenario. Anybody can get caught. My name is One Time, but it's not one time just to represent me. One time represents boxing. One time is what I can do to you, but it's also what you can do to me, and it's also what the fans came to see us do to each other. It's land that one punch that changes the whole fight. That's what everyone is looking for when they're looking up at the ring and they're trying not to blink. They want to catch everything because they know there can be any one of these blows that these fighters are swinging that can end the night. So.
Gotta ask, man, you're one of the most slickest talkers, gift the gab, in boxers today. Conor McGregor and Floyd, that was like pretty much the whole entire build-up of their tour. How would you have went with Conor, you know, with the war of words and stuff like that?
I don't know, man. You know, from the way I like what Floyd did, you know, Floyd just let him talk. Floyd knew who he was. He knew he didn't have nothing to prove. You know, this is the last fight of his career, 50-0. You know, it depends. You know, I feel like a lot of talking and stuff, you know, McGregor does it for his persona. You know what I mean? And he picked that style, and he's not going to drop that style of, you know, his persona, the way he talks and runs his mouth. You know, I got a lot to say, but I used to have a lot more to say when I was not champion. Now that I am champion, there's this thing where you know you're accomplished. You're not trying to accomplish, you are accomplished. So you can relax. I don't have to talk shit all the time. I don't have to put you down. You know what I mean? You're rising up, you're gonna fight me, I'm the champ. Congratulations for your success, but the day you meet me, you're gonna fall short that night, because I'm a different kind of fighter. I believe I'm very special. I believe I'm underestimated. I know a lot of people do give me some respect, but they say, oh, I see this, I see that. But what they don't see, and what you cannot really see, is the true heart of the warrior. That will manifest itself in the ring, and it will manifest itself in fights later to come in my career.
Does it make for a better fight when you have a dancing partner per se, somebody who does talk for the promotion, or do you just like, you know, keep it business like a Sean Porter type, someone who's very respectful?
I can care less about the talking. It's all about the fight. You know what I mean? We talk for you guys. You say I talk better than some of the other guys, but the talking to us, the talking doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's the fight that matters. The way you throw your hands, the way you move in the ring. You know, the strength and conditioning you bring into the ring at this level. You know, you saw it with McGregor. At the top level, you can't be getting gassed. You can't be falling short. You gotta have energy in the tank if you want to be a champ, or if you want to beat a champ. You know, so you know, we work hard, we train hard. I got a great team back in Florida. You know, been with them for a long time. We all know boxing very well. We know our opponents very well. We create very strategic game plans, and we have multiple game plans to make adjustments in the ring. You've seen me do it a few times, and I possibly can do it again in the future. So.
Keith, yesterday you said weight classes are there for a reason.
Yeah.
In thinking of that, does that come into play when you think of when you react to Mikey Garcia calling you out?
Definitely, man. Definitely. You know, but what can I say, man? When I wasn't at the top, I was calling out everybody at the top. Now that I'm at the top, my name pops up in a lot of people's mouth, you know, and that's just what happens when you hold two belts. He said he wants to make a big statement, this, that. Obviously, he's got some great fights coming up in a lower weight class. You know, he's still young. We're young. There's time to build that legacy. He wants that legacy. There's time